Hello, folks. Welcome to Wei and Kathy Show. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Now, today we want to tell you a story, an unbelievable story about a $6 billion US dollar equivalent. Okay, a deposit just disappear, evaporate. And then, if you are one of the saver, how would you feel? You got a crackdown, got suppressed by the government. How did that happen in the country of China? All right, but before that, let's first talk about two major international news. How about that? Yeah, first, as you know, the Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister of Japan, was assassinated 3 days ago.
Right.
And yesterday, there was this Japanese Senate election, and then the ruling party, the Democratic, the Liberal Democratic Party, won big. How big it is? They won 86 seats. Okay, so altogether, along with their ally parties, altogether in the Senate, the ruling party who are for revising the Constitution, reached 170, which is 4 votes more than the 2/3 threshold. So, Kathy, as you know, that when you have 2/3, supermajority, you can do virtually anything you want.
Right.
And this so-called anything is the revising the peace constitution. As you know, the peace constitution was established after Second World War under the U.S. occupation. All right, and then there's Article 9, which says that Japanese should never declare war and never resort military as a way to resolve conflict, internationally. So they cannot develop an army or a marine or a navy or air force, okay? And they cannot develop any nuclear weapon. But they do have this self-defense forces, okay? And which is not part of the Constitution, actually. It's just self-defense, the minimum type of self-guarding force. And then Shinzo Abe and his grandfather, okay, since 1955 has been trying to, repeal this or revising this peace constitution, so that to return Japan to a normal country. Of course, that's raised a lot of suspicion among the neighbors, the Asian neighbors. But time goes by. This is 77 years later, after the end of the World War II, and Japan, then an aggressor, has been a democratic and a peaceful country for 77 years. All right, so for this many years, Japan tried to, the conservative party tried to revise the peace constitution and return Japan to a normal country. And then let's just take a look at the most recent change, okay? In the year of 2012, if you remember our last show, right? Shinzo Abe was re-elected as the prime minister, and he pushed for that. In the 2016, actually, as a matter of fact, his party got a 2/3 supermajority in both houses, in the Senate and in the House. But you still need a referendum by all the people, right? You need to have that passed. But at that time, they just don't have the majority of the Japanese people signing on that agenda. All right, 3 years later, they lost a 2/3 supermajority, so they become impossible. So what happened is this: yesterday, because of the assassination, there's so many people which is coming out, 15% more than the last election in 2019. They rush out and give the ruling party, the Liberal Democratic Party, a huge win, so big that it pushed it across the 2/3 supermajority again. So now 2 houses there are supermajority, but what about the people? Okay, let me just read you some polling. The general poll in the 2019. Japanese people who are for revising the constitution is 34%, Kathy. And the next year, it becomes 43%. Still next year, it becomes 45%. And now, the most recent poll tells us that 60% of Japanese people are for the revision of the constitution.
Well, they are almost doubled.
Yeah, if you ask, how about I tell you what triggered that change? There's a foreign party who really is just helping the Japanese ruling party. Kathy, can you guess who's that?
Well, Chinese Communist Party.
Chinese Communist Party, yeah. So, yeah, Chinese Communist Party has been working very hard to help like a conservative party like liberal Democratic Party to get elected, to help the progressive Democratic Party in Taiwan get elected, and yeah, so basically they are very busy making those things happen because they did bad things. People see it, they don't like it. In Japan, as high as 87% people disapprove, China. Back then, it was like a 20%. Now it's become 87, nearly 90%.
I think in the United States, the poll also shows
80 some, right?
Yeah, the descent to the Chinese Communist Party just increased tremendously within the past couple of years.
Thanks to the hard work of the Chinese Communist Party. So they've been behaving like a fighting wolf. They suppress their people. They cancel out NBA, cancel out Nike, cancel out European companies and U.S. companies, arrest a Canadian, businessmen and things like that. All this move and actions will only work against them as time goes by. Okay, so now as the Prime Minister Shizo Abe died, that's saying that Japan rise up.
Yeah, but so far, has there any evidence that this assassination somehow related to the Chinese Communist Party?
No, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, and the chances is not related. It could be, but so far the preliminary investigation saying that this person has hatred or complaint about Shizo Abe is related to the Korean religion, but we don't know the detail, and I think we still have to wait for a little bit.
Yeah, one fact is after Shizo Abe's assassination, people in China, what they were doing, they were celebrating.
Yeah, ecstatic. Just like when the 9/11 attack. I don't know whether you know this, whether we talked about this before. I think we did occasionally. In case you don't know, when the 9/11 attack happened, Chinese people are just went uproar. They're very happy. Literally, they saying that Americans finally they got their what they deserve, things like that. While people die, people are burned to death. People jump out of the building of the Twin Tower, and there's this this happiness and a celebration in China. At that time, there's not this like a giant grand translation campaign. So nobody know what happened. Only we know. We Chinese know. So this happened again with Shizo Abe's assassination. There's a celebration. The restaurant hanging out a big banner saying that we are just celebrating Abe's death because he's China's enemy, things like that. So, yeah, this is all the work of the hatred was grown by the CCP in the people. Yeah, but anyway, the result is very likely with this all three threshold passing, the ruling party will be revising the peace constitution. And what's the result? Two things. First, they're going to put this, they're going to certify the self-defense forces as the Japanese military force. Put that into constitution. Second, they're going to raise the military budget from less than 1% to 2%. And if you ask why 2%, remember, this is what former President Trump was requiring the NATO country, to the threshold that they need to reach, which is 2%. Think about that. At that time, the prime minister was still Shizo Abe, right? Trump did not require him to do that. He took it into his own hand. Let me reach 2%. So that's how allied, Abe was with former President Trump. Okay, they really just same line, holding the similar ideology and the same type of value. And now is saying that many people are saying that with Abe's fall, bring Japan to on its feet. And what do you think? Yeah, do you agree to that? So this is some major change because Japan is indeed a very powerful country. For years, it has been stay very humble, stay very low, and it's not assertive enough. Even as a rational, democratic, long-lasting, country, they've been playing a very small role. So East Asia, America has to spend a lot of money, a lot of effort to maintain the world order there. Now with Japan on its feet, it could be providing a good assistance to the U.S.
It's probably going to change the geopolitical in the Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
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 And well, thank you, Daniel Sullivan,
Thank you for your support.
donation support. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, and Human said thunder chicken diplomacy. What do you think?
I'm sorry?
Thunder
chicken
diplomacy.
Thunder chicken diplomacy. I'm sorry, I don't get that. Okay. So let's move on to the second issue. This is interesting. Okay. Elon Musk posted some interesting tweets today. And then he displayed some a laughing picture. I don't know whether Tony you can show the Elon Musk's laughing picture, and so that we can take a look. So basically, let me read it to you the word before the laughing photos. Okay, he said first he said they said I couldn't buy Twitter. That's the first one. Then ha ha ha. The second says then they would not disclose bot information. Then there's this ha ha ha, and then he said now they want to force me to buy Twitter in court. Ha ha ha. The final one says now they have to disclose bot information in court. This was what has been happening.
And right? He's like even laughing harder, right?
Yeah, and then the next picture is he showed a very mysterious photo, right? There's a how to say semi-god type of a lady holding a big long knife was walking there, and what is that? There's no comment, there's no explanation. But let me decipher it for you. This is the image in the Elden Ring game. Elon Musk was really a game player. I think he played game to feel relaxed. Okay, anyway. And then the word says, if you check it out, and this lady's name is Melania. She has this famous quote, I'm Melania, blade of Miquella. Okay, Miquella is the children of some god. And I have never known defeat. Okay, now let's look at Twitter's chairman's Brad Tyler's move, right? He tweeted the company will take Elon Musk to court and get Elon Musk to close the deal or have him pony up the $1 billion breakup fee. And Tyler declined to comment on the unfolding series of the event. On Sunday night, Bloomberg reported that Twitter has hired the legal heavyweights over at Wacho Lipton to sue Elon Musk. Okay, this Wacho company has been regarded as the hardest firm in the U.S. to get a job in. All right. As of 2020, the U.S. News and World Report ranked this company as the tier 1 law firm in national and regional rankings. So apparently, Twitter hired some heavyweight to fight with Elon Musk. And then, so what is Elon Musk's opinion? Reaction? So he just laughed. All right. Now let me explain to you why he laughed. This is the word from a editor at large of Yahoo Finance. Okay, his name is Brian Salzy. Let me read his word. He said Elon Musk pretty much turned Twitter into a pile of dead money. All right, and why? 8 reasons. Let me quickly go through that with you and see whether you agree to him. He said, first, Wall Street won't trust Twitter's operating metrics in light of the fake account debate. All right. The second, Twitter's advertising business will be hurt for a while due to Musk's involvement. Right? The future is uncertain. True. Which company would bet his 1 year's budget on Twitter, not even knowing Twitter will go in the next 12 months, right? The third, investors' focus will return to Twitter's subpar operating performance versus Meta, Snapchat, and TikTok. Okay? People were just looking elsewhere. $440 billion, $44 billion, right? Buy or not buy, things like that. Now they're going to back to the bottom line. And the bottom line is terrible. Twitter's financial performance was never good. Okay, the fourth, the talent drain has opened at Twitter amidst the Musk debacle, impacting future product development. Pretty common sense. The fifth one is that there's a growing lack of confidence in the new and unproven CEO Agrawal. So as of now, okay, the spokesman for Twitter still declined to make the CEO Parag Agrawal available for an interview. Okay, and this is the Yahoo Finance guy wrote. He said Agrawal has been bizarrely quiet since the merger news hit, and it would be good for him to show some outward leadership to rally the troops as his company is essentially burning to the ground.
Well, so why the CEO is not showing this leadership?
Okay, since Kathy asked me and I'm on air with you, let me share with you my true observation. This guy really wants a job after Elon Musk took over. Okay?
Okay.
So he doesn't want to criticize Elon Musk because that's his future boss. At least he wish he would be his future boss, which means he got to retain the job of the CEO of the Twitter. So he actually fired two top level executives, in my understanding and in my opinion. It's to clear road for Elon Musk to come in. Now, even with the situation, Elon Musk say, I won't buy it. He still feel he's gonna buy it. Okay, after Twitter's price keep coming down, so he doesn't want to, just upset Elon Musk. So still saying nothing. So throughout, he just say nothing. Think about it, right? That the bot information, the fake account, is all his job, right? He's the person to answer. Why the chairman, the Brad Talent, now is making all this announcement, and he didn't say a thing. He basically didn't say a thing. Okay, the sixth reason is Twitter is now locked in a costly long-term court battle with the world's richest person, which is not a great place to be. Apparently, true. The other side has unlimited fund. Even your higher heavyweight firm is probably only to scare the other side. It doesn't help much because the other side has just a bottomless pocket. The seventh is no other bidder are likely to appear. This is very important. Yeah. For years, there was a view from investors that Twitter will eventually be acquired. It's very popular, widely in use. Okay, even though it doesn't make money, somebody probably will buy it, and then that has been completely removed. He says this has to be completely removed from the equation. I don't know what does that mean, but what I understand is this: throughout this debacle, throughout this fighting back and forth, people understand Twitter pretty much is a propaganda machine. They don't work hard. They don't treat themselves as a business. Okay,
well, supposedly, the people are supporting what Twitter's policy of censor people, and they are pretty much a lot of those leftist rich people, right?
Right.
Yeah. Why don't they stand out and help out Twitter?
Let me share you my answer. Okay, the first throughout the 真相工程was the 真相工程in English.
Oh, Project Veritas.
Yeah, Project Veritas investigation showed that the Twitter engineers work 3 or 4 hours in 2 or 3 weeks, and the management doesn't care. It's not a company going after business, going after profit. They just treat this as a activist place. So Elon Musk has raised the valuation to $44 billion. Even you can buy it in half price, it's $22 billion. Who's gonna waste his $22 billion on a company where people work for 4 hours in 2 weeks? You're kidding yourself. So nobody's gonna throw his money into the water, knowing that the company, those employees, doesn't even work, and the management doesn't even care. They only care about their political correctness. So that's the reason why there's no second bidder. There's no white knight.
Yeah, that reminds me of for example, people in San Francisco, right? When they talk about all those leftist agenda, they were like all for it. Many of them, not all of them. But then when it comes to their own backyard, then people have a second thought. For example, like the homeless, right? They would voice out for the homeless, like for their freedom. You just should allow them to go anywhere. But when you say, how about you open up your own house to let them in, and then people say, no, I have such and such reasons that I cannot open up my house to them.
Yeah, if those are progressive people, if those liberal politicians will open their door, invite the homeless into their bedroom, you got 4 bedrooms, you can share 1 at least, or maybe 2 if you don't have kids at your house. Would you do that?
Yeah, for example, the Oakland mayor.
Alicia.
Not Alicia. Oakland mayor.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So the 8th reason. Okay, 8th. It says Musk is likely to dump his nearly 10% stake in Twitter, as we all know that he owned that much, which would pressure the stock price. just the potential for this to happen would weigh on the stock. All right. So basically, his conclusion is this: in one fell swoop, Musk has single-handedly destroyed a public company.
Yeah, well,
So-
think of it. I think Musk right now is really in a win-win situation, right? One way is he could, in this, what he has been doing, he could just press down the purchasing price of Twitter, right? But then worse come to worse, he just won't get the price he wanted, but then Twitter is just basically being destroyed, which, Musk, when he first he has been exposing, their fake accounts and things like that. So that's also, he can reach, kind of achieve his goal in that way as well. So for him, it's like there's no loss.
Yeah. So if we ask ourselves who to blame, who created this scenario for Twitter? Twitter is in a very sad situation. Somebody could say Elon Musk is too cunning, is too cruel, whatever. Actually, this Yahoo Finance guy is pretty much hold that attitude. But if you ask me, I would say it's Twitter's own problem. Okay, they have problem themselves during this purchase, back and forth argument, discovery. Those things got exposed. Now they're going to the court. Court is asking about those bot, those bot information issue, the fake account issue. They will be exposed to more if they themselves don't have, vulnerability. They don't have problems hidden there. Who's going to destroy them? Nobody can destroy them.
Yeah.
The second shooter will come. White knight will come. Maybe not just one, even two or three. Nobody want to buy them. Why? Because they got problems themselves. So Elon Musk just discovered the truth in his acquisition effort. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, again, Daniel, thank you so much for your so kind of support. Yeah, and he said you guys are the best.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
it.
All right, let's move on to something really. Okay, do we got anything?
Louis said some say it was retaliation for blowing up the Georgia Guidestone. Only time will tell. Well, it happened a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So Human said a wolf warrior. So you're probably referring to the Chinese government's diplomacy. Yes, wolf warrior.
Yeah.
Diplomacy. That's what they
Okay.
got. And Larry, hello, folks from New York. John,
Hi, Larry.
good evening from Northern Virginia. Thank you for great reporting both here and on Sound of Hope News channel.
You took note of that.
Yes.
Thank
Wow,
you,
great.
John.
Yeah, so for the folks that have not noticed that our news channel just opened up a new one. So if you could just go there, subscribe, that would be really appreciated. Yeah, we just thought it's better to separate the talk show from the news. And by the way, I think maybe our Darren can post we are starting a new channel, right? Because for some reason this channel is not really growing. We are starting up a new channel which we starting to post some short segments of our talk show. So if you could, just to go to our new channel to subscribe so that we can, in the meantime, just grow that channel. That'll be really appreciated. So we will post the new channel for you shortly. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So shall we go to the next story?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, some of our viewers, for example, Louis, already been asking about the China banks issue. So there's a new development just over the weekend. The Chinese authorities on Sunday violently cracked down a peaceful protest by the thousands of depositors in the Hunan province where this issue is happening. People, and actually the depositors are across from China, right? Total like 410,000 of them. and in total their savings are like 40 billion Chinese dollars worth of deposit.
Which is about like $6 billion.
They have been frozen since 2 months ago, since April. And so averagely speaking, each of them had like 100,000 Chinese dollars per person, right? Being frozen, they cannot they cannot withdraw at all. And yesterday, local time, on Sunday early morning, more than 1,000 depositors across from China gathered in front of the Chinese People's Bank in Zhengzhou, Hunan province, demanding, their money back. So there are some depositors tried to even hang themselves in front of the bank. And one veteran, there's a recording we will show you later. One veteran said, all of his veteran retirement fee are in the bank account, and he didn't even know that, his money cannot be withdrawn. But after he knew about that, he was saying, I have booked my ticket to go to Zhengzhou, and I will get my money back. Otherwise, I will, he just said, I will get some people go down with me. Okay, basically. So let's, first of all, show like it's interesting. The protesters, they actually gathered in front of the bank early in the morning. And why is that? Because the authorities tried to use the COVID restriction, the they call the health QR code, to restrict them from traveling. And we'll show that later. But the protesters gathered in front of the bank early in the morning, as early as like 4 a.m. And they were singing the People's Republic of China anthem. And you may wonder why. Yeah, let's show some, and I will explain to you. Okay, so this anthem, the lyrics is like that. Stand up, people who don't want to be slaves. Build our flesh and the blood into our new Great Wall. The Chinese nation is at its most dangerous moment. Everyone was forced to let out a final roar. Stand up, stand up. We are all united under the fire of the enemy. Stand up. We just go ahead under the fire of the enemy. So, from this lyric, you can understand, right? Those depositors, those protesters, they think, enough is enough. They don't want to be slaved anymore, right? And they are viewing the bank under the CCP control as their enemy. So that's what's going on. So it's very ironic because this anthem was from CCP, right? Yeah. And they basically educating the Chinese people, we are facing those enemy who are trying to, destroy us, so we have to stand up. Now people, those thousands of depositors saying, CCP, you are our enemy, right?
How ironic.
Yeah, how ironic. And then also the protesters were chanting the people's police. Okay, everything in China, the Chinese government deemed as people's, people's are liberation army, people's police. But those depositors are chanting, people's police are gangsters. Let's take a lesson. Yeah, they just chanting all along like different slogans. Can we get that? And as those both the police and the plainclothes police just, like running and into the place. They are so uniformed, right? Those police and the plainclothes police. And then people are chanting, you are the gangsters, you are the gangland. And also protesters were chanting, Xi Jinping, investigate Henan. Li Keqiang, invest Henan. So, we know who Xi Jinping is. Li Keqiang is the prime minister. So they are like pleading to the central government to investigate this provincial government about the corruption. And then there's very sadly some of the protesters tried to hang themselves in front of the People's Bank of China in Henan, but in the video we cannot show that because of YouTube restrictions. And then like the whole morning you can see from the footage, right? The protester was actually basically surrounded by the police and the plainclothes police. Okay. Then at around, reportedly, at around 11 a.m., all of a sudden, the plainclothes policemen suddenly attacked them.
Started
attacking. And you can also see those uniformed police standing behind. Okay. But people already know. They are the police, they are the gangsters, as
see this?
Their words. See?
Like organized, like a
very
lineup,
organized.
and just coming in and keep beating people just like that.
Yeah. And
those people are just people who lose their lifelong saving in the bank. They just come here to try to, just voice their complaint.
Yeah.
And they were attacked like this.
And some of, very brutal scenes we cannot show. Okay, there's a restriction, but and you can see, like the plainclothes people, several of them will attack one person, and then just shovel them onto the bus. So, and it was also reportedly that the police refused to send those injured to the hospital. So one of the depositors, who is a woman, was beaten on the bus, and she was so frightened, saying, "They are going to kill us." Yeah, you can see in the video, a lot of people being arrested, shoveled onto the bus. Yeah, and the woman was just like crying and shouting, "They're gonna kill us! They are trying to kill me." Then, as of 1:30 in the afternoon, everything returned to peace. And the authority just used those sprinklers cars to wash off.
Yeah, clean the blood and return everything to just like nothing has happened.
Yeah.
So typical of China in the last 7 decades.
Yep. And some people just on the scene saying like it's very much like what happened on the Tiananmen Square in June 4th, 1989. And the people even post, the pictures to compare that. And there's one veteran who, his recording was shared around the internet, and he was just so angry and saying that his lifelong savings, including his retirement fees, are all in the bank. So let's take a lesson.
大家如果怕的话，可以跟在我后面。我是一个退伍军人。 我必须要拿回自己的钱。我现在已经买好了票，因为我也是前几天才知道的。之前我也没怎么去看我这个存款，因为我是相信这个银行嘛，相信这个存款保险，就没去管它。然后后来加了群嘛，才知道自己的存款出事儿。以前我在部队的时候，抗洪抢险，我们都跑在前面。如果大家怕的话，只要是白衣人敢打你，我第一个冲上去弄他。只要我的存款回来不了，我要拿几个垫背的，里面有我不少的退伍费呢。 反正大家不用怕，我觉得自己反正是合法的，也没犯法。
Yeah, he was just basically saying, I'm not scared. If you are scared, you just follow me. And he said he has been working so hard, especially when there was flood relief. He and those soldiers were just in the front to trying to help people. And now he found that all of his savings gonna be evaporated. And he said, if I don't get the money back, what's gonna happen, right? So yeah, that's basically what's happening right now. And it was interesting to see if we show the picture that the people with the banners, and they even show a banner with the English line saying against the corruption and the violence of the Henan government. So I think it's very rare. Yeah, a few things are very rare in this protest. First of all, it's the largest protest since the COVID, right? And the second, we see the English, like a banner in English words, okay? And that says something. It reminds people what happened in Hong Kong when people were protesting the CCP's policy and the people waving American flags.
They want to send a message to outside of China.
Yeah, and think probably that's the next step. And the other thing is because the depositors have been protesting for 2 months. And initially, some people, they kneel down in front of the cars of authorities to plead to them. And we have the picture there, all right? But after 2 months, they probably realized something, and that they are not kneeling down anymore. They're chanting, right? They try to just to voice out, and they are not kneeling down anymore. So, and the one thing is the authorities try to really use the COVID restrictions, like they use this QR code, because they used that back a month ago in June. Okay, so that actually kind of stopped people from traveling to have those kind of gathering and protesting. And this time again, a lot of people showed they were even not like just being locked down at home for the whole month, but their QR code by Henan is showing it's red. Red meaning you cannot travel. But they have another like a national code saying they have never been exposed to high-risk areas. So it's really contradicting, right? So the only reason for that lady is because she has some deposit in one of those rural banks in Henan. So that's the reason. So, and I think that tells a lot, is that, since the COVID, a lot of people think, for our safety, we should just use those restrictions to be safe. But, look at that. What's happening in an authoritarian regime. Under authoritarian regime, when you submit your freedom, and then they can step up and further restrict you, right? A lot of people cannot even travel and even go to protests just because of, they can use this kind of code and COVID restrictions. So I think that's a lesson to learn for a lot of people. So
they just abuse the power that you submit to the government, and every government just like that. So the sovereign, the sovereign is with the people. Yeah, that's what our Constitution, U.S. Constitution, gave us.
So, but I think I also saw some discussion that saying why this is happening in Henan right now. The head of the Henan province is subordinate of Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping right now is in a very critical situation because of the upcoming
Party
Congress, right?
It's coming
up, and maybe some people try to, find trouble with he and his people to affect his, power. But anyhow, whether people, that's my thinking, and whether people trying to just destroy him to support the other party, right? Because within the CCP, there's always a power struggle. But with whichever party, it's after all, it's CCP.
Yeah.
So,
and who got hurt? It's common people who just deposit their money there, and the government has absolute power over the people. So no matter how much wrong you think you're facing, and that works against you, you really have no ground to get your right back. You just cannot have it because you have no power. Yeah, so this is actually this kind of thing happened time again in the last 8 decades in China. We'll just showcase one thing for you, so that for you to know that under authoritarian regime, what's the life like that? And we just remind ourselves: do we ever want that? If we don't, we gotta wake up today.
Yeah, and even some people think, oh, maybe we just because it's COVID, because it's a war, we should to be safe or to be healthy, we can just sacrifice our freedom a little bit. But this is really a lesson to learn from what's happening in China.
Yep.
So I hope folks, it doesn't matter if you're at the right or the left. Freedom, liberty, is something. If that's something you really treasure, just really pay attention to those type of policy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for being with us tonight. And I'm your host Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhan. Again, thank you, Daniel, for your generous support, and to all of you for being with us. It's really a pleasure to spend this hour with you, and hope you also enjoy. And don't forget to like and share our video, and also to subscribe our new channel. Let me see if we have the new channel here posted or not yet.
In the news channel.
The news channel and our new channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just
let me try to find it, Darren. If you can find it as well. Wow. Trying to.
Okay, and while Kathy was looking for it, and I just want to remind you that the Supreme Court ruling, as you remember, that before they stopped the session, they ruled on 5 major cases, if you still remember, right? And actually, for the upcoming October, there are 2 cases that's very attention-catching. One is the Chinese Americans suing Harvard and the University of Northern California for the affirmative action, which is basically the reverse discrimination against Asian student and Caucasian student. And then that's one thing. Another thing has to do with the state legislature, whether the state court is able to interfere with the election process, which was, prescribed by or designed by the state legislature. Okay, and then in the past elections, the state court does come in, and now this when they rule on something, so who has the power? Who has the final say? Would that be the state legislature or the state court? Okay, so this is pretty much it's constitution debate, because in the constitution it's clearly written that state legislature decide on how the election process shall be. Okay, so that course has gone to the Supreme Court and then passed the Rule 4, and then they've taken the case. So in the upcoming October, the first one is the affirmative action ruling, and by the college admission. The other one has to do with this state legislation versus state court. So 2 again very landmark cases when the ruling come down. So we'll all just keep our eyes wide open. As a matter of fact, in terms of the balance of the court, to be honest, I do think that the current Supreme Court is quite determined to return to the interpretation, to the original text of the Constitution. which is the very, how to say, very meaning of the very role of what the Supreme Court should hold. And for too many years, the liberal Supreme Court has deviating from their given role. And then now, at least with this 5 conservative judge plus sometimes John Roberts, they're returning back the court to what it should be. And yeah, this is one thing. The other thing, yesterday I was talking about a special organization, which I will talk about next time, which is called the Federalist Society. I don't know how many of you know about that, but the Federalist Society was something set up in 1982, in April of 1992, by a group of Yale Law School students. So after they hold a forum, symposium on the Federalist system, in that month, later they joined hands with the law school student of Harvard and the law school student of the University of Chicago. They set up this Federalist Society. And initially they got $25,000, sponsorship or whatever. Today they have annual budget of $20 million. And then they have 3 divisions set up under that nonprofit. The first one is called the student department. The second is called the lawyer department. The third is called the faculty department. The student department has 200 chapters, basically in the 200 law schools all across U.S. And the lawyer division, they have 70,000 members, And then the faculty, I don't have the numbers. Basically, they pay attention to the education of our young law school students. So since late 1960, America pretty much has lost their school, especially their public schools, but with probably one exception, because of the role of the Federalist Society, and then there's in the law school all across America, the conservative voice still persists. And why do I say so? Let me just give you 2 numbers. Out of the 51 appeal court nominees by former President Trump, 43 of them come from the Federalist Society. And then out of the 6 conservative judges in the Supreme Court, 6 of them all come from Federalist Society. This is how powerful it is. Okay, that's my insert.
Yeah, already posted our new channel. It's a Win Cathy highlights. There's only a few short videos on there, but we're gonna continuously to post more like short clips from our shows. So please subscribe to it. So we try to just grow another channel.
Yeah.
And
the Brent,
Brent,
you wrote that I would love either of you as neighbors. Haha, I would love to barbecue a few steak for you.
That's
Thank you very much.
Very
we
nice.
would love so too.
Yeah, so Brent just wonder where do you live?
And Mike, thank you for your donation and support.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mike. And out on a limb, never let anyone take away your rights. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. Very true.
Well said.
Yeah, very, very true. Okay, and Louis said a great show, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis, for always being there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much again.
Yeah,
for
and
staying with us.
Brent, you said I just pray for us all. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll all pray us and pray for the United States.
Yep. All right. Good night.
All right. Good night.
And see
Take
you
care.
next time.
Bye-bye.